Medicare clarified.
KCAA Radio, Loma Linda, where no listener is ever left behind.
In your guys' ears off, let's give a quick shout out to all the listeners out there on KCAA Radio, listening on 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM, out here in Loma Linda, Yucaipa, Redlands, all that good stuff. Thanks to you guys. Thanks for the support. We appreciate you all.
Yep.
So,
Also, thank you to our sponsors.
Yes.
SNJRadio.com. No negative news, no politics, just feel good music. And our man Secondhand Sam up at Second Chance Thrift Store. Next to USA Subs on Yucaipa Boulevard. Also, quick shout out to my sister Jasmine and my brother Andrew.
There you go.
Having a baby girl due May 2023.
All right.
So shout out to them.
Man. Wait, when is it due?
May 2023.
May.
May, yeah.
May, baby. That's awesome. Congratulations to them. Is that their first kid? Or
Second.
Second kid.
Second.
Okay. Is it a boy or a girl?
It's going to be a girl.
It's a girl.
Yeah.
What about the first one?
The first one, Genesis, is a girl.
Okay, so two girls.
Yeah, two girls.
That seems to be the trend nowadays,
Right?
you know? 'Cause
Yeah.
we all know JC, he has two baby girls, but
Yeah.
he has a boy on the way, also in May, so that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll
It's
be
really
awesome.
cool. May's a good month to be born.
It is, huh?
Yeah. My birthday.
He said, wink, wink, don't forget.
Don't forget.
All right, Ken, so you're here on the show, man. Thanks,
Yep.
Thanks for coming on. I know you got crazy stories and philosophies, so we're just going to pick your brain and dig you out a little bit.
Sounds good.
But before we start getting into that, we haven't been here in like 2, 3, maybe a month.
It's been a
Both
month.
of
It's
us
been
were
five.
here.
It's been I think 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Maybe
Maybe, yeah. Because I know I was
4 at least.
Yeah, because I went to a football game, and the week after you went to a football
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
And
And
then
then,
it went downhill from there, right?
Yeah, it was bad.
So let's catch everybody up. So I saw the Dolphins versus Chargers
Yeah.
at the Chargers Stadium.
Uh-huh.
First time going to a football game. That was pretty
Nice. Who
We-
won?
cool. Chargers.
Chargers. Okay.
I sound like that because I was going for the Dolphins.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. Which was,
Uh,
dude.
Are you a Dolphins fan?
No, my buddy Tyler is. And
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one
Yeah.
that took me out there. So
Okay.
I even wore a, official NFL
A
like
jersey?
Dolphins jersey and everything, And believe it or not, bro, there's honestly, from my eyes, there's more Dolphin fans than Charger fans.
I bet.
It was crazy. It was crazy. But then we lost, and then I did what they call the walk of shame
Yep.
because it was like 5 minutes before the game or right before the game ended. I was like, hey, let's just go because my boy, he's already mad. I was like, let's beat the traffic, right? Because they're like, hey, parking is $75,
Yep.
but if you give me 100, then you can park next to the stadium, so you'll save like an hour and a half of like traffic, I was like, nah, we're cool. We'll do the whole traffic thing. So I leave 5 minutes early before the game ended so we can beat the traffic. We already know we're losing, right? We get to the car, and I'm patting myself down, and I can't find my keys. My keys are gone. I was like,
Oh man.
this is not happening, right? And this happened to me at the UFC fight that I went to. I left my keys. Every time I go somewhere, and like when I get movie tickets, like don't have me hold on to the movie tickets. I'm gonna lose them. You know what I mean? And so the game ended. Everyone's walking to to their cars, and I'm walking towards the stadium. And I'm wearing my Dolphins jersey, and all these Chargers people are just excited. I'm walking back, just like shaking my head, like everyone's laughing at me because I'm going the wrong way and all this. And they wouldn't even let me check for my keys in the stadium because the stadium closed, right? They're like, no one's allowed in here, da da da. And my buddy, he was so mad. He was like, I don't care. He just like walks in there. Like 6 security guards came in, and they started just like bickering at each other. And eventually, he got escorted out. And then I went to Lost and Found, and I was like, hey, I'm missing my keys. And they're like, well, you can go check. I was like, no, the security's just like took us out. Like, we can't. Like, can you come with us? And so we went. My keys weren't there. So now I'm really screwed,
Yeah.
So then we go to the parking garage, and I'm calling AAA. This is at 8 o'clock, okay? 8 o'clock, I called them. 9 o'clock, they said, hey, they canceled. Like, they canceled on you. I was like, okay, can I get another one? Like, yeah, sure. 10 o'clock, canceled.
What?
I'm like, why is AAA canceling on me? You know what I mean? And it's not even AAA. It's the independent contractors.
Right.
You know, like the third party companies that come out and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because not only did I need someone to like just open my door to see if my keys are locked in there, but I have window tint so I can't see. But maybe like a key master or something. You know, someone can like make a key for me. Dude, it wasn't until midnight where my mom drove all the way from her house when she was sleeping to come drop off a spare key in LA. And the following day she had to go to I think it was Texas or something, but my stepbrother he graduated from the army, from boot camp. So she had to do an early flight like the following day.
Oh man.
My mom's a trooper, so shout out to her, love her.
Shout out.
But yeah, so it was a really fun experience. I had a good time, you know, climbing those stairs, dude.
But where was the keys?
Never found them.
Never found
the
someone
keys.
just took your keys.
Or I just misplaced them somewhere. I don't want to blame anyone for taking my stuff, but you know, I guess it was my fault. You know what I mean? I mean, who else am I gonna blame?
Man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and my buddy's like, "You do this every time." I'm like, "Then you would know to like, you know, like, come on, bro.
My keys.
Like, what do you expect, bro?"
Man.
What about you guys? How was your guys' football experience?
It was so I got sick beforehand, and then I tested negative for COVID. So I'm like, I'm going to a football game. I don't care. I'll wear a mask. I'll stay away from people. Fine. And so you know that's what I did. And so first we went to the it was the Raiders playing the Patriots.
And the Patriot fan is your dad Ken, right?
Yeah, and then my buddy got us tickets. My buddy Solomon. So shout out to Solomon.
Yeah, for sure.
He's also a Patriots fan. And
He didn't go?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, he did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so he went with us, and so we stayed at Circus.
Mm.
And you want to tell us how the game went, Dad?
Oh, man, where can I start? That quarterback, I don't know. I think they need to get him glasses or something because he was doing some bonehead stuff.
Yeah.
I was just shaking my head.
See, I didn't watch that game, but I did see like the last play.
Yeah, everyone did.
Which we're all talking about, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one.
What happened in the last play?
Oh, man. He just threw a big bonehead pass, and it was bad.
Okay, so the Patriots were up, right? And last play, and so oh, actually, it was a tie. My bad. It was a tie.
Yeah.
All they had to do was make it to go over overtime.
Yep.
No, they start doing lateral passes back, and then one of the running backs threw a pass completely at the wrong person.
Wrong team.
Wrong team. And they ran it all the way for a touchdown.
No kidding. So the Raiders won.
The Raiders won.
Oh man.
The Raiders won.
And you know what? I didn't know that because I just saw like the last seconds of it. You know, I didn't know that the running back threw the ball.
Yeah.
So that was probably
yeah,
their
Jacoby
mistake.
Myers. Yep.
Not shout out to him. Not just kidding.
That's a negative shout out.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And when was that game? Was that in November?
No, it was
Early December.
it was like a week before Christmas.
Yeah, because I was in the hospital. Christmas, yeah.
Yep.
Week before that.
Yeah, it was the week before Christmas.
Man, so you were at the hospital when?
Tuesday.
The week before?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you were in the hospital
On Christmas.
on Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah.
All that week.
Dang, you guys must really like hospitals, huh?
Oh, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you a story.
Okay.
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
I get to the hospital. They take me right back. 18 hours in the emergency room waiting for a bed.
Yep.
No kidding.
Yep. Get up to the room. I just get to sleep. The vampires come in. Why do they come in at 3 o'clock in the morning to draw blood? What's the difference between 3 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon? The blood's the same. The blood don't go to sleep.
So an 18-hour wait for a bed and then a 3 o'clock wake up getting your blood drawn.
Yeah. Like I just got to sleep.
Dang.
And then, to begin with, they just put the IV in. The girl just walked out. This vampire lady walked in. She goes, I got to draw your blood. I said, okay, take it from the IV. I can't do that. I got to stick you. I said, that lady right there just stuck me. I said, what? She says, I can't use that IV. I don't know if it's any good. I said, the lady just left. Talk to her.
Go get her. Go get her.
Run. She just put it in. I can't do that. I says, well, you're not drawing the blood out of that. You're not stabbing me again, I said.
Dang.
So the head nurse come in and she drew it from the IV and gave it to the vampire.
Wow, that's
The vampire.
that's crazy. And why did you go to the hospital? What happened?
COPD, my breathing.
Gotcha.
Put me on a vent for a few days.
Okay.
Weaned me off the vent. Came home.
What hospital did you go to?
Kaiser, Fontana.
Fontana.
Yeah, I went to Redlands Community.
He was in Redlands Community.
Oh, okay. You know, I was also at the hospital on Christmas Day, but not for not being a patient though. I was handing out presents to all the cancer
man.
kids.
Oh, cool.
We're at Loma Linda.
Yeah,
or what?
Loma Linda, yeah. And honestly, it was definitely like it was cool. I'll do it again this year. I kind of want to make that a thing, but it's just like it's sad seeing these kids. Like I saw like a 6-month-old baby with like tubes in her nose and like in her
Yeah.
throat and stuff, to like 17-year-olds, right? Because once you're like 18, you're no longer in the child facility. You know what I mean? And on Christmas Day, bro, it sucks. Like, it was kind of hard to have them smile when they're in the hospital on Christmas Day, especially the ones that were in isolation. So, like, their parents are not even there,
Yeah.
you know? But it was funny because I was, like, I got all dressed, you know, gloves, scrubs, and all that. And then I gave this little girl presents, and then she was excited, and she was like, oh, thank you, doctor. And I was like, yup.
Yeah.
I was like, Merry Christmas. Doctor works. No, I'm just kidding. The one time.
Manifest it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, before I got sick, I used to go to the Ritchie Canyon Rehab Center and give blessings at Christmas.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because you're Catholic, right?
I'm a Mormon.
Oh, you're Mormon. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You know what's funny is people always mistake those two.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, no, your dad's Catholic, right? I was like, no, Mormon.
Yeah.
I was like,
Why is that? Why do people think?
I don't know
You're
what people
Catholic.
think because I used to be Catholic. I think that's what it was.
Yeah. Well, I was raised Catholic, and then I became joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints back in 2009. Best move I ever made,
Really?
joining the church.
Yeah.
Doctors don't know why I'm still alive. Only thing I can think is, he's got something here for me.
Yeah.
He wants me
Amen.
to do something here on earth, help people, you know. So I try to help my family, friends. You guys call me, I'm here.
Yeah.
Amen.
Whatever I can do to help.
Awesome.
Pastor
Yeah,
Kerrigan's here.
yeah, we appreciate you. Yeah, when you're not here, people are like, "Yo, where's Ken?"
Yeah.
Like, Kyle, where's your dad, dude?
Yeah, people always ask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah, I
always
usually
ask.
try to come, even if I'm not on the air, for
Yeah.
support.
Yeah, of course.
know?
Like, I know my mom's listening right now because she called me. She's like, "Hey, you're gonna do your show today?" I was like, "Yes, mom." You know, I'm all like, "Come on."
Shout out to mom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shout out to all the
shout
moms
out.
out there.
For sure.
Yeah, she's a big supporter. And it's funny because cause you guys know how I'm in real estate and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have on Thursdays at 8 a.m. I do a show with Dr. Marissa.
Yep.
And she listens to that too. And she called me. Well, I called her because she texted me. She's like, "Oh, good show." So then I called her. I was like, "Hey, mom, like, what do you really think?" Like, da da da. And she was like, "I'm kind of curious, like, why, like, what's your goal? Like, what are your ambitions? Like, what do you really want to do?" Because, like, real estate was just a jump, you know. And she was like, I can really see you be like a counselor or something, you know, like talking to people, help people and all that good stuff. And I was explaining to her, I was like, you know, I'm not following my passion. I'm following my dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
she asked me, she's like, okay, so what's your dream? And my literally my dream is to just bring my family together again. You know, because like the older we get, the further we get from each other. You
Oh,
know?
for sure.
And so like my cousin, like my mom's maiden last name is Blackwood,
Yeah.
and my cousin was like, bro, you know how dope that would be if we had a mansion called the Blackwood Mansion, where it's just like, you know, the gate with like the BW or whatever, like Blackwood, and then just like where the whole family comes like to, you know, vacation at, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like, I really want that to happen. I was like, dude, honestly, me too. So like that's always been like the biggest goal of mine, is just to bring my family back together, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not really that materialistic. You don't see me wearing like watches,
Yeah.
earrings or anything
Yeah,
like
me
that.
neither. Yeah.
But you know, she was trying to help me out, like guide me through my life. Like, what do you want to do? I was like, it's not what I want to do. It's what I want, like the outcome in life. You know what I mean? And like real estate, it's a pretty smart move in my eyes, because like if you look at a lot of millionaires and like what most of them have in common is a real estate portfolio.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And like real estate's really big, and if you know something about something, then you can get a little further. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, what drives me crazy is like people nowadays, they're like, oh man, I want to be a professional tennis player, but I work at In-N-Out. You know what I mean? It's like, why don't you work at like a tennis store, or like do something that involves like in that field? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so with me, it's like, I know real estate's really important, and it's like, why not just be in real estate so I can learn more, you know? Like, it's weird how people have all these dreams and ambitions, but they don't fall in line with it. You know?
Right.
They don't align themselves to their dreams. So I guess like I want to open your guys' like pick your brains a little bit. What do you guys think about society, like modern day society nowadays?
Modern day society.
Yeah. Like the way people think, how people act, just like the way you see life.
I think that's subjective, because I've been everywhere around the world, and people operate differently depending on where you go. Here it's fast paced. Everyone needs to get A to B. Everyone needs to get to work, go home after work. So everyone's sitting in traffic. There are times and places where people interact, but you have to like actually make it a reminder, or actually do it.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was spending time in Namibia, it was I got sick a little bit, only because I had to adjust how my time was working. And so the rhythm of life that you do had to slow down. After church, people would just stay and talk, no matter.
Just hang out.
Just hang out. People would talk in the middle of the street. If you see someone, people had places to be, people had to go to work, but, everyone was still talking. Everyone was still.
They just take their time, huh?
They just take their time. Being late over there was like, it's like.
There's no such thing as being late, because.
Yeah, you get there when you get there. And, and so here, there's always deadlines, and there's always, things to follow. Like if you're late for work, you lose your job. If you're late, and so I think we have a lot to learn about who we are, and I think this newer generation is starting to learn that you have to actually strive to do what you want to do. It can't really be handed to you.
So do you agree with deadlines, or do you agree with like just going with the flow, just taking your time?
Well, I definitely agree with going with the flow, only because you're happier, you have a better outlook on life. You don't have to think about work; you could just go there. Whereas you have to be at work at 6 p.m., so you have to think about, okay, I live 20 minutes away. There's going to be traffic. And then you have to start thinking about
the stress levels are just
the
increasing.
Stress levels are high. Like when I make it to work, can I walk and clock in on time? Can I do that? Can I, So it's just like it's really subjective, and
So you're more. Let me try to understand you better. you're more for the soul, you know.
I'm more
like,
for the soul.
More for the soul. Like
Yeah.
you want to make sure, like, stress free, life is easy.
Yeah.
Just continue with your day.
Yeah, I want to make sure people are okay. You know, I want to make sure that everyone's doing what they need to do, but at their own volition. You know, I don't have to worry about, oh, Sam always comes in late. You know, it's 6:01.
Yeah.
Oh, he's late.
Uh-huh.
You know, I don't have to. I don't want to think about that. You know, I don't want to think like a bureaucrat or anything. You know, everyone has everything going on right now. You know, there's always something going on in your life that you don't realize. So,
What about you, Ken?
Yeah, see, I was raised the opposite. My dad worked 2 jobs. I worked 2 jobs most of my life.
Yeah.
Work. For your kids, for your family, give them a good life. If I was going to do it all over again, I would have slowed down. 41, I had a heart attack and stroke. That was the last time I worked. In a coma 9 months. Woke up 8 months later. I mean, took me 8 months of rehab. Couldn't move my neck down. Couldn't talk. So I tell my kids, I was a cabinet maker most of my life. And on the side, I built cabinets and did burnouts. Always worked hard. I tell my kids now, it's good to work hard, but you got to be there for your family.
yeah,
You got to do things. Like I made sure my kids always had passes to Disneyland, Knoxbury Farm. It was always for them. Never thought about me. But I was happy. I had a nice truck, okay house. I was happy. I was happy being a cabinet maker. I enjoyed it. And I never thought about making my life better. For me. It was always for my family. And I think nowadays, you really got to think about yourself too.
yeah,
Plus your family. Take some time for yourself. If you like going to church like I do, go to church. Do things you like to do. Take time every day. Pray. I'm getting a little emotional.
That's okay. Yeah, we all get emotional.
yeah,
It's life is tough. Don't make it any tougher.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I know a lot of people tell me all the time that I need to slow down. And some people, like, I even lost some people because I was just too busy, you
Yeah.
know? And it's like, people say, hey, there's a balance to life. But for me, there's priorities.
Yeah.
Like, how can you have balance when everything needs to be in order? Like,
Yeah,
I agree with you, like, good for the soul. But, like, if we don't have deadlines, then to me, we don't get things done.
Right.
And it's like,
I agree with that.
a lot of people, they're like, bro, you're trying to grow up too fast. I'm like,
Yeah,
bro, you don't know when you're going to die. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. So, like, I'm like, what the guy from the movie Rocky, he was like, there is no tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, there really isn't. You can't really dictate what's in life. And then some people, like my friend, he thinks different than I do. He's like, why would you, like, have goals and ambitions if, like, you might die tomorrow?
yeah.
I'm like, you can't let that stop you from trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I definitely think deadlines are important only because, how else would you get your goals accomplished?
Yeah, I was a boss most of my life.
Yeah.
Foreman and plant engineer. So I had a lot of responsibility. A lot of people under me. And I wasn't a hot ass, but if you were 1 minute late, it drove me crazy.
Yeah.
That drove me nuts. I was always a half hour to an hour early. I was the first one there, last one to leave.
So that's where Kyle gets it from.
Yeah.
This guy, by the way, guys, if you guys didn't know, show starts at 7. This guy's here like one time you're here like 5:30, 5:45.
Oh, 5:30, 5:40, just chilling.
Yeah,
that's
just
what
hanging
we did
out
today.
Yeah, I bet. And I'm showing up. I'm like, even on some days we're like, all right, I'm gonna come early. I'm gonna beat Kyle. No, he's already here. I'm like, bro, do you like what? I bet you if I stay here overnight, he'll still be here.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No, and that's really good. A lot of people I like to hear that. You know, we got a caller in. You want to plug it in?
Yeah.
Got it.
Thank you for calling the KCAA. Whatever works. What's your name?
Everything works. This is Farron. What's up?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, player? Please speak.
Pops, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good to hear you. Good to hear you.
Yeah, good to be back. Good to see you again.
Yeah,
Spent a little
you.
time in the hospital, but I
I
survived.
I saw.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I just wanted to chime in. I love the conversation. It's very near and dear to my heart because of just how I grew up and just hearing how your dad is talking and both of you gentlemen trying to figure out and expressing your points of view is very important because sometimes we don't realize what's the drive behind all that work
Right.
Yep.
and what's the driving force. And Mr. Works, you kind of said it, you know, those deadlines, those things are definitely important, and we have to have that balance. But sometimes we got to figure out what's driving the deadline. And I heard you say something about we don't know when we're going to die, right? So all that, each one of us has that thing that drives us. Like the father said, sometimes, you know, we were taught we got to be a provider. We got to provide for the family. But then the child needs our time, so the child misses out on what they need. And so all this life stuff going on. But I just wanted to chime in because that's something that I really, really care about because it really hurts us sometimes when we can't see what's that driving force in the background.
Yeah, well, thanks for calling in, Farron.
Yeah.
And so let's lead the question to you. Like, how do you live your life? Is it, you know, deadline on time? Because I know you're in the military. You're a drill sergeant, right?
Yeah.
So how did that affect your life? Did you always have that mentality, or has it changed since you got out? Are you more relaxed, or are you? How is that?
I appreciate you asking because I don't make New Year's resolutions, but what I
neither.
chose to work on this year that came up in my space was my relationship to time. And so that is something that I'm going to figure out what is in the background of, because I'm retired, you know, this is my 10th year. I do have things in my calendar that I care about, but there are some things that when I put in my calendar, I don't reference and I double book. I miss meetings, you know, so what is my relationship to time? And it's because I have so much that I want to take on this year, and I'm looking for the next 20 years of my life.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if I don't get a hold of my relationship to time, then I'm going to continue to do these things that I'm starting to recognize that doesn't work for a person who owns a team and runs these shows and does all this stuff. So I had to do what his dad said was to figure out my spirituality, figure out what my purpose in life is, and then figure out where my thoughts are coming from. And so I broke that out as my ideology, my philosophy, and my theology. And I found principles for each one of those to gauge up how I feel about myself and about life, about what those things that I see as principles, that who I want to be today. And so sometimes how I feel and think don't match who I am today. So I gauge myself off of those different principles. So I started praying more. I started going to church, and that just opened up my purpose in life. And then I took cognitive behavior classes so that now I get to manage how I think, and I recognize my thoughts. So there is no tomorrow, and there is no yesterday. It's all in language. So how we talk is really important. So I just found principles that I challenge my life up against instead of how I feel about life now.
Yeah.
And I'm 53.
Dang, you're only 53.
Yeah.
My guy.
I wish I had this at your age.
Well, hey, you know what? The best thing to do is spread the wisdom, right? We can't just keep it to ourselves.
Definitely.
So, hey, Farron, thank you for calling in, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate
Appreciate
you.
y'all. Love your show, man.
Yes,
Yeah, I
sir.
love you guys.
All right.
Thank you. All right.
So it is 30 minutes past 7. We're going to be taking a quick 5-minute break thanks to our board op Joe here. And when we come back, we're going to continue talking about our philosophies and things in life. I have more questions.
From the Bureau of Economic Geology, this is Earth Date. You've heard of carbon copies, but what about carbon opposites? Diamonds and graphite are both made of pure carbon, but like a hero and a villain played by the same actor in a B movie, they're almost comically different. Diamonds are transparent, prized for their clarity and brilliance. Graphite is opaque and nearly black, valued for its ability to leave marks, which is why it's used as pencil lead. Diamonds are famously hard. This makes them highly abrasive and used on saw blades, drill bits, and sandpaper. Graphite is incredibly soft and is so non-abrasive that it's commonly used as a lubricant. Diamonds are an excellent heat conductor, while graphite can be used as an insulator. How could two minerals from the same element be such different characters? The answers lie in where they were born and how they were formed. Diamonds are created deep within the earth under intense heat and pressure. Their crystal structure is bonded tightly together in 3 dimensions. Graphite is formed from organic matter when it's heated during continental plate collisions. Its mineral structure is in sheets, which are bonded loosely together and can slip past one another. Different minerals made of the same element are called allotropes and are more common than you'd think. There are other natural and man-made allotropes of pure carbon. All have different characters depending on their crystal structure, and one of them will likely change our lives. We'll talk more about it on a future Earth Date. I'm Scott Tinker, and thanks for listening.
Earth Date is produced by the Bureau of Economic Geology at the University of Texas at Austin. Earth Date is researched by Julie Hennings, written by Harry Lynch, and distributed by Mark Blunt and Casey Walker. For more stories, follow us on Facebook or visit earthdate.org.
Come to Hooters, where there's no such thing as a party of one. Located with the 60 and the 215 meet in Riverside, near Merino Valley. For more info, Google Hooters Riverside.
There's only one thing you think of when you think of Hooters. Wings.
Wait, what?
With more styles, better flavors, and fresher wings, you could only be in the original American wing joint. Get them smoked, bacon-wrapped, original style, and now introducing new roasted wings. Roasted crispy to seal in the flavor and seal out half the calories. One taste and you'll think of nothing else.
We'll see about that.
Come to Hooters, where there's no such thing as a party of one. Located with the 60 and the 215 meet in Riverside, near Merino Valley. For more info, Google Hooters Riverside.
There's only one thing you think of when you think of Hooters. Hooters, the original American wing joint.
Bob Vila here with my home improvement tip of the day. When I talk to homeowners about safety, it often centers around using tools, ladders, and so forth. But there are a lot of other ways that you may be injured in your home. One of them is by mixing the wrong chemicals. You've probably heard you shouldn't mix bleach with ammonia. That's true. It produces vapors that can damage your lungs and even kill you. Also on the don't mix list, bleach with vinegar. When combined, they give off a chlorine vapor that's similar to the poison gas used against Allied troops in World War I. Bleach shouldn't be combined with toilet bowl cleaners either, since they too can produce toxic fumes. Also, steer clear from combining highly acidic products with products that are highly alkaline. They can cause serious chemical burns if they come into contact with your skin. Before using any household product, it's best to check the label. Potentially harmful interactions are often listed there. Get more info at bobvila.com and right here at home with me, Bob Vila.
I'm Rick Smith, host of The Rick Smith Show, inviting you to listen to my show during the noon hour every weekday right here on KCAA. My show is sponsored locally by Teamsters 1932, a strong union with 14,000 members in the IE. Our message is clear. Unions improve the lives of working people. You have a right to form and join a union, so go to Teamsters1932.org and get started now.
Tonight, before the break, we're just talking about our own philosophies in life and today's society, how everyone runs it up. And we all have different views on life, meeting deadlines and why that's important, and also enjoying life and keeping it cool. We do have someone on the line right now who wants to speak his mind, so we'll put him through. And just introduce yourself, where you're from, and talk.
Yeah, man, I was listening to you guys, and I just couldn't help but not to call in because, you're talking about deadlines, and I think deadlines are like short-term goals.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to have deadlines. But when it comes to life, you got to multitask and balance. And so it's all about family and spirituality and your job and work and love and creating a better world all at the same time. You got to do that.
Yeah.
And so you can't just do one thing or the other. That's part of being a whole person. And don't you agree?
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree. Yeah.
And if I may ask, like, what area in those aspects are you working on?
I'm working on all of them all the time. I love my family. And, as the family grew older, we had different goals and went different directions. And, I kind of had that same fantasy like you and your cousin had.
Yes.
About, build a big compound and everybody move on there, or move into a big house or something like that. Everybody who loves their family has had that, I think, at one point or another. Then you realize, well, you just got to love people and love your family and support them. But then I realized, I don't think I want to have my family around all the time. Because, you fought as a little kid. You're going to fight as adults that way.
Right.
But it's better. Absence makes the heart grow fonder is very, very true. And so I think it's important that you stay in contact, you support each other as adults, you play a little different role. And then the other beautiful thing about life, if you're living it right and you're a good person and you're kind and caring and giving, that all comes back to you, and your family actually expands, aside from your brothers and sisters and mother and father, which are always going to be a nuclear important part of your life. But it's not a constant either, because, your parents are older and unfortunately they die and pass away, and maybe you have a brother or sister who does that too. You get this family of friends. It's the family you choose, and then the family that chooses you. Their DNA is the family part, your DNA family, and then there's all this family of people who you share experiences in life with, and friends, and all that kind of stuff, and special people that come into your life. So that's what that's all about. I think, if you live in life right, you balance, you time manage, you're not late to work because you are there a half hour early. Good for you, Kyle. Good for you. And then, you're able to just go through life. If you realize that you do make mistakes, you flub up, you go off your diet, you jump back on, you get back on your diet.
Yep.
You just gotta. It's not the mistakes you make; it's what you do.
Amen to that.
Amen to that.
And so, those are all good things. And then don't fail to plan, because you'll plan to fail.
I like that.
So you got to strategize in life. You have to have goals, but then you have to stop and ask: is this an end or a means to my goal? Is this something I really want to do? Because like a career is something that you should enjoy, but also makes money. That's the perfect career.
Yeah.
And there's a job, which is just over broke. There's a career, and then there's an avocation. And if you can do and make money at your avocation, that's the best of all lives.
Right.
You have to ask yourself, what about your goals and the career you're pursuing do you like? Is it filling out the paperwork? Is it dealing with the people? Is it the showing the houses? Is it the social interaction? Is it the people? So maybe it's not what you're doing, but it's how you're doing it that you're enjoying. And then you might say, well, how do I do that? Maybe, Sam, your mom might be right. That maybe you need to go into something that's people-oriented and counseling or something like that, fitness counselor or whatever. Just figure out what you like. And, Kyle, I'm sure you're going to have a great career. What do you want to do, Kyle?
Well, definitely my goal in life is to be an MOD for a casino. That's something I've always wanted to do.
Manager of the day?
Yeah, manager on duty.
Manager on duty, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
so they essentially, a quick brief job description for that is they manage all departments of the casino and make sure everything's running correctly. And so ever since I've gone to Vegas many times with my mom to go visit friends and family out there, and that's something I've growing up with casino movies, especially in the 90s. Something I've always wanted to do.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And so I finally got to get one step closer to my dream this year by being hired at Yamava. And so I just got to put in the time, make sure my people are taken care of, and I think I can achieve my goals faster than what I think.
See, that's what I'm talking about, Kyle. Round of applause to you. You know, because like that's a dream of yours, and now you're in the field. You're not working at In-N-Out, but wanting to be an MOD.
Yeah.
At the casino. So you're in the right spot, right position to do that. Now you just gotta
Did you ever watch that TV show Las Vegas?
Oh, yeah.
It's an older show.
Yeah.
It's on channel 4.2 NBC. You can find it on Cozy TV at night. It's like on at 11 o'clock at night or 12 o'clock at night. It's a show all about working in a casino.
Yeah, I think they gave.
It's a pretty cool show.
Okay.
Anyway, just something like that. Anyway, and your dad. I listen to his story, and it just becomes more incredible every time I hear it. Kudos to you, and keep going. And
yeah, I appreciate it. That's all we can do is keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can't give up.
And you're a pastor?
Yeah, I'm a priest. Yeah.
You're a priest.
Yeah.
Oh, in the Mormon Church?
Yeah. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, Latter-day Saints. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. So you got some good spiritual background and spiritual strength. And there's one thing I want to say before I finish up and stop boring everybody is that, you can go to the gym and you can work out and you can have a great looking body. And, that's the goal of everybody. But then there's the spiritual fitness. And if that's going to church or getting together with people and talking or whatever, if you could see your spiritual body, how would it look? Would it be, flabby and overweight and out of shape? Or would your spiritual body be fit and trim and strong? And, you can't not pay attention to that. Otherwise, if you're just eating potato chips all the time, your body's going to get out of hand.
Yeah.
Same way with, your spiritual health. Yeah.
And that spiritual body is important, right? Because after we die, then that's the body we're left with.
Yeah. And the way you do that is to do kind things and be nice to people.
Yes.
And give your boss a lot of help and support.
Wink, wink. Gotcha.
All right, you guys. Good show.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
KCAA 106.5. No, sorry, I got carried away. Okay, bye.
Later. All right, you guys. So we only got a couple more minutes, but hey.
We got about 10 minutes left.
10 minutes left, yeah. So when we went on break, you were saying that this topic that we're having kind of relates to the message that you had today at church, right?
Yes. So my soul hang up at Cal Mesa Worship Center. And it's right down the street in Cal Mesa. Check it out. There's a 9:30 and 11 a.m. service.
You invited me to 11 a.m., but you didn't want to go to the 9:30?
Well, the 11 a.m. service is what they're trying to rebuild.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of people at the 9:30 a.m. right now.
Makes sense. All right.
And so I feel like it's one of my callings to help build that church. That's something that God's talked to me about. And so, anyways, there's 3 great pastors there. Pastor Paul, shout out to him, was talking today about spiritual gifts and finding out what God has given you as a gift, and you in turn using that gift to help others in different ways. And so it's going to be a 5-week segment. Today was the first week, and it's about figuring out what God has given you. And so my question to you both is, what do you feel like God has given you?
I can answer that
in
a heartbeat, but I'll let Ken answer first.
Well, God's given me a second chance, I think, to help people.
Yeah.
I'm here myself. I don't know why, but people tell me I'm here to help people. So when I'm in a line of a store, I always say hi to the person in front and behind me, always. I always say hi to the cashier. Wherever I am, I always give a smile, a wave, or say just say hi, and you know, it makes you feel good, it makes them feel good. Because a lot of people, they go through life and nobody talks to them, except for their family. I find if you just talk to people, the world's a better place. You know, if you don't say nothing, nobody else will say anything.
I agree.
You know, so
someone has to take that
somebody has
leap.
to take the first step, say the first word. Like I said, I love church. I love helping people. I'm hoping I'm around a long time. Help my family, help my friends, and help strangers. You know?
Yeah.
I helped this lady the other day. I'm not feeling great, but she was having a hard time putting her wheelchair in the trunk. I just went over there and just grabbed one end.
You just took off and ran? No, I'm just kidding.
And I said, together, we can do this.
Nice.
And we popped it in the trunk.
Hey, there you go.
So, you know, if you see somebody struggling, try to help them, you know. Make the world better. This world is sometimes crazy.
It is. It is a crazy world.
People are just stuck in their own path, their own lane, focused on themselves. Sometimes you just got to look around.
Look around. I like that. And then, Kyle, what was your gift that God given you, do you think?
Well, I feel like it's been passed down to me from both of my parents, you know. With my dad being a pastor or a priest, I feel like God has also given me the gift of speech, you know, to talk to people. And then from my mom's side, you know, the gift of speech, but yelling.
Okay.
And so, you know, I kind of got blessed with both.
Nice.
And so, definitely giving back and, you know, talking to people is something that that I've definitely been working on every day, and definitely, you know, try to make excuses on finding ways to do that too. You know, and because sometimes that opportunity isn't really presented, and
so you got to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, my gift is a little more physical,
Okay.
but I truly believe that my blood clots are a gift, and the reason being is because it opened my eyes to become somebody, you know, and because of my blood clots, I have to be like safe, you know. And you know how my mom, on Mother's Day, when I had my mom on the show,
I remember
and
that.
I asked her, I was like, hey, like, there's one thing you could have done differently as far as raising us kids, like, what would you have done? And she looked at me and she was like, I think I gave you guys a little too much freedom. That is partially true. And I think if I didn't have my blood clots, then I'll still be not the same wild child, but I'll still be doing the stupid things, you know?
Yeah.
And because of my blood clots, I have to be safe. I have to be healthy.
Yeah.
And I have to, you know, it opened my eyes knowing that, like, you're not immortal. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, Sam, build your empire in terms of, like, you know, be the man who you want to be, who you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, not who you want. Like, there's a difference between being what you're supposed to be and being what you want to be.
Right.
Right? Because some people, who they want to be is just like this fun, enthusiastic, just outgoing person. But sometimes the person you need to be is the complete opposite, you know? And for me, what I need to be is an example, a leader, and, you know, lead the people to where they're supposed to be. You know what I mean? Not like, don't follow me, but like, watch me, and like, I'm growing, you're growing, we're all growing. But like, we got to grow in the right direction, you know? And I said this before, your conscience is the authentic voice of God, you know? And there's a difference between thinking how you feel and then what your conscience is actually telling you.
Yeah.
You know? And me having my blood clots put me on the right path. And at first I thought it it broke my heart thinking, you know, oh, I got blood clots, I'm going to die soon, whatever, whoop-de-whoop. And my sensei was like, don't think of it as a curse, think of it as a gift, you know? And I took that very seriously. And ever since then, you know, like it led me to the right direction, I feel like, you know?
Yeah.
And so like mine's more of a physical gift that sometimes needs to be physical, you know, because what you can't see is sometimes out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
And it's kind of hard to, you know, stay on top of your gift, you know, so. All right, you guys, we got about 1 minute left. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we take off? Kyle, Ken?
I'd like to give a shout out to everybody out there. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you always.
And it's been good.
All right, next time, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Again, shout out to Jasmine and Andrew for their baby girl that's coming.
Yes, congratulations to them.
Shout out to my homie Solomon, who has been a big part of my life in the last month. So
there you go, guys.
Yeah.
And then for my last thing, we'll see you next week. All right, you guys. You're listening to Whatever Works on KCAA 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM.
Seems to be local. Since when is Glendale local? KCAA, your true local station.
This segment sponsored by the generous support of the Dream Team. Looking for the keys to something bigger and better? Downsizing or relocating to the perfect spot? Oscar Ramirez from Century 21 Lois Lauer Real Estate and Matt Flores from Secure Choice Lending are here to help you sell or buy with their trusted and experienced knowledge and advice. People are calling Oscar and Matt at 951-751-3249. That's 951-751-3249. Real estate and loan advisors Oscar and Matt can give you a no-cost consultation. You don't have to buy anything. Matt and Oscar can help you figure your way through the complicated real estate market. Email Oscar at loislauer.com or on Instagram at Oscar Ramirez Garcia and Matt Flores at securechoicelending.com. Don't let today's real estate pitfalls stop you from dreaming. Make your new home dreams come true. DRE number 0207-0344. Se habla español.
This holiday season, immerse yourself in the Reagan Library's biggest and most extravagant Christmas exhibition yet. Experience a festive forest with over 60 decorated trees, plus artifacts from around the world, including those from the Reagan family's own Christmas celebrations. Capture your family photos in our winter wonderland. And you just may meet Santa himself. An American Christmas Story, now open at the Reagan Library.
The Village Mud wants to remind pet owners of the importance of spaying and neutering. Shelters overflow with unwanted pets. Spaying and neutering helps prevent this and has many health benefits too. That message courtesy of the Village Mud at 66.5 East Foothill Boulevard in Claremont. For self-serve pet wash tubs and high-end food and treats for dogs and cats, featuring natural and raw. Call the Village Mud 909-624-3020 and like them on Facebook.
You've eaten lots of great food and not so great food at restaurants. Cowboy Burgers in Fontana and now on Arlington and Riverside will fast become one of your favorites with their delicious, mouth-watering burgers and breakfast burritos. Cowboy Burgers and Barbecue also serves fantastic smoked barbecue baby back ribs, tri-tip, chicken, pulled pork sandwiches, as well as lunch and dinner plates. Everything is made from scratch, including their delicious side dishes like coleslaw, potato salad, barbecue beans, and much, much more. Check out their rich, decadent chocolate brownies.
Hi, I'm food critic Alan Borgen, and you can dine in, take food out, or have them cater your next special event. I highly recommend Cowboy Burgers and Barbecue at their new location at 5573 Arlington Avenue in Riverside. Just look them up on the internet. That's Cowboy Burgers and Barbecue. Happy eating!
And perfect for the holidays, Cowboy Burgers and Barbecue is also available for catering. That's Cowboy Burgers and Barbecue in Fontana and now in Riverside on Arlington.
NBC News Radio. I'm Chris Coraggio. President Biden is in Mexico for the first time since taking office. He'll be in Mexico City Monday to discuss migration issues with the country's president and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau at the North America Leaders Summit. Other topics on the agenda include fentanyl trafficking, trade, and economic development. The trip comes after Biden visited the U.S.-Mexico border on Sunday. He stopped in El Paso and met with local officials to address border security issues. Officials in Brazil say at least 400 people have been arrested in connection to the recent storming of government buildings. Those have since been cleared after hundreds of supporters of the country's former president refused to accept the latest election results. One GOP congresswoman is worried about what backroom deals were cut in order to elect House Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
We shouldn't be operating like Nancy Pelosi, this small faction, and they're the ones that are saying they were, quote, fighting the swamp, but then yet went and tried to act like they actually are the swamp.
Appearing on CBS's Face the Nation, South Carolina Representative Nancy Mace called the lack of transparency in accommodating a group of Republican detractors a cause for significant heartburn. She went as far as to say she's on the fence about voting for the rules package Monday since she doesn't know what promises were made. A Virginia school will remain closed Monday and Tuesday after a teacher was allegedly shot by a 6-year-old boy last week. The incident happened Friday at Rich Neck Elementary, where police say there was an altercation between the teacher and student who had a gun. In a weekend update, the teacher was listed in stable condition after her injuries were initially considered life-threatening. Authorities took the child into custody after the shooting, noting they didn't believe it was accidental. There is a tentative agreement at 2 of New York City's hospitals affected by the threat of a nursing strike Monday. Nurses at several other hospitals could still walk the picket line if a deal isn't reached by 6 a.m. Monday. Nurses are threatening a strike over working conditions, staffing, and pay. I'm Chris Coraggio, NBC News Radio.
You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5.